And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
Hey, welcome. I'm Mark Haye. I'm actually filling in for Brandon Rimes as he's out selling multi-million-dollar properties today, and so I get the pleasure to host today with my co-host David Vargas. So looking forward to a good show here. And just a quick update on our happy hour with Consumer Quarterback Happy Hour on July 3rd from 6 to 8:30 at the Crown and Bowl in Dunedin. And all our partners will be there, contributors, clients, friends, family, whoever wants to come July 3rd, 6 to 8:30 p.m. That's Crown and Bowl in Dunedin. I think, David, you'll be there, right?
Yep, I'll definitely be there. Crown and Bowl turns out to be a great location. The owner, Dion Falzone, he's a show guest with us as well. It's a great ambiance. The food, the appetizers are fantastic. Those are covered by the MVP team, Platinum MVP team. So definitely show up. It's an Independence Day theme. So come wearing your red, white, and or blue. And Thursday, July 3rd, 6 to 8:30 p.m. right in the downtown heart of Dunedin, 319 Main Street. That'll
be a lot of fun. And happy 4th of July to everybody that goes, and then hopefully they celebrate. And so looking forward to that. And then we got a couple of properties here. I know Brandon wanted to list off here and make everybody aware. Mm-hmm. The first one is here in Clearwater, Florida. It's a condo. And unit number 8, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, just under 800 square feet. This is a 55-plus community, so if you're 55-plus, this is a good opportunity to buy a 2-bedroom, 1-bath right there in Clearwater, Florida. And you're 5 minutes from downtown Dunedin, where we just talked about the Crown and Bowl, and 15 minutes away from Honeymoon Island and the beach. It's a really good location, got a pool, got a workout facility. And again, this is a good opportunity for somebody 55 and older that's looking just to have maybe a second home or move down here permanently. And then we have another home here in Palm Harbor, and this is a pool home, and the price has just been reduced. It's now asking $909,000, and it's a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath. It has an office as well, so technically you could count it maybe as 4. Put a closet in there and count it as 4. 2-car garage, 3,000 square feet. It's a beautiful, beautiful home. It's completely redone. I mean, it looks magnificent. And so if you're looking for space, you're looking to be in Palm Harbor. Palm Harbor has excellent schools. If you have kids that looking to go to good schools, and Palm Harbor is a really good place to be. So 2 good properties, condo and a pool home there for sale. And if you have any questions or interest, please contact the show or Brandon Rimes, and they'll be happy to help you.
There we go.
All right, and then today we got a lineup. Well, Captain Will Smith will be next, but to start, I get to talk, so I get to be the guest and the host today for the first 20, 30 minutes.
Double dipping.
And, double dipping. And so I want to take an opportunity because I always have people ask me, obviously, what to do as far as planning and retirement. And there's so many different philosophies, different opinions. There's such a vast, obviously, to navigate. And so I'll just use someone everybody knows, everybody kind of looks up to, respects, is Dave Ramsey. And Dave Ramsey's philosophy is buy term, invest to rest, go into mutual funds, go into 401k, IRA, and save, scrimp for 30, 40 years and hope that it works out in retirement. My philosophy is a little bit different. There's nothing wrong with that philosophy. And if you and your wife or your business partner, that's what you guys believe in and that's what you want to do, I'm happy to help you. And if you want an advisor that has the same philosophy, I encourage you to work with that. My philosophy is a little bit different. I think that we should be hopefully investing and keeping money liquid, develop passive income with retirement planning today, not waiting 30, 40 years so you can improve your lifestyle with your wife and your kids, and hopefully take advantage of the tax code. And we talk about that a lot as far as retirement plans. But I do think the foundation of anybody's portfolio, including my portfolio, is cash value life insurance. And the reason I say that is because you have to store cash somewhere. I'm talking about where do you put cash? Most people put cash in bank accounts. Whether you're just a W-2 employee and a husband and wife, whether you're a business owner and you're obviously running a business with employees, etc. And so you're going to put money in the bank, which is fine, and you want to have an emergency fund, maybe 3 months, etc. But I put as much as I can inside cash value, and so do other big institutions. And I got a few things for everybody when it comes to banks. And we give a lot of money to banks for checking and savings accounts and CDs, etc. And we do that and get 0.5%, or if a CD gives you 3% or 2%, and all that you make there is going to be taxable to you. So if you make a 2% return on the bank, you're going to owe taxes on that 2%. So really maybe a net 1.5 or 1, just depends on where you're at in your tax bracket. If you put money inside cash value, you not only get 5 to 6 times more than a long-term CD or a savings account or a checking account, you get those earnings tax-free. The money stays liquid to you. And the biggest thing for business owners is it's creditor protected. Well, unlike a bank account, unlike a CD, where if you get sued in your business, or if you get in a car accident, or your 16-year-old gets in an accident, God forbid, and someone wants to sue you, they cannot touch all the money inside those contracts. Where if you put money in the bank, CDs, managed accounts, etc., they can go and get and capture that in any kind of litigation. And so business owners and people put as much as they can inside cash value just to protect it from litigation, at the same time keeping it liquid, earning tax-free money, having access to it, unlike an IRA or a 401k, where you got to wait till 59 and a half, otherwise you got to pay taxes and a 10% penalty, which I always just think it's crazy that the government came up with this plan where we're going to put a surrender charge of 10% on your money until you're 59 and a half. So think about, you're 29 years old, you're getting in the workforce, you're starting a 401k, and you're agreeing that you can't touch that money for 30-some years. And if you do, they're going to charge you taxes and a penalty, which is crazy that people agree to this. Where I say, put the money inside cash value, don't put it into a 401k. And the reason is because when opportunities come, you got to have liquid money. And that's when people can pounce on opportunities, having liquid money. And so if you have that and it's protected from creditors and you can get access to it, then it's certainly a really good vehicle to store cash. Now, you do get benefits. You get permanent life insurance, you do get long-term care, you get disability, you get injury. So, for example, let's say you're putting $25,000 a year inside a cash value. I choose that number because you could put $25,000 a year inside a 401k. And you're working and you're doing this, and all of a sudden you get disabled. 1 out of 3 people end up getting disabled. So who's going to put into the $25,000 now? Who's putting $25,000 away into a 401k? Because you can no longer work. You're no longer getting a full paycheck. You maybe are collecting disability. And so, no, you cannot fund that anymore. Whereas the cash value has called what's disability income rider or disability rider. And all that means is when you become disabled, the insurance company then puts the $25,000 a year in for the rest of your life. And so all the money that you were going to accumulate and save for retirement or life, etc., will be done. Even if you get disabled, it's going to be funded. No other opportunity is going to come where you have that type of opportunity to invest and get disabled, and it's going to work. So if you put $25,000 inside of a cash value policy and that death benefit's $1 million, you die day one, a year later, whatever, your family or your business partner gets $1 million tax free. You put $25,000 into a 401k and you die the next day, the next year, whatever, your business partner, your family gets $25,000 minus plus the market and whatever taxes are due. And so it leverages. And so I tell people, if you don't have $1 million, which most people don't have $1 million when they're starting out in their 20s, then get the permanent life insurance or get term insurance, invest the rest. I don't care. Have the $1 million if something should happen, then $1 million would pass. But as you accumulate that money, you're going to accumulate over $1 million of cash that later, 30, 40 years from now, if you want to retire, you can retire off it tax-free. Or along the way, you guys have some opportunities. The money's liquid to you. There is no penalty. There's no taxes. And I utilize my cash value for buying real estate. If I want to lend out a mortgage and do a loan, much like a bank does, I'll utilize my cash value because when I do that, I earn non-direct recognition, whereas a bank, you earn direct. So let's just go through. Everybody knows what this is. They don't realize they do know what this is. And so you go to a bank, and it could be any bank, Bank of America, Chase, Achieve, a credit union, it doesn't matter. And you have $100,000 in there, $10,000 in there, it really doesn't matter. They're going to directly recognize what you have in your account. So you have 100,000 and they're paying you 5%. They're not. That's 5% of, $5,000 of interest. But let's say you go and spend that money. You go to Chase Bank and you say, I need $90,000. I'm going to go buy a Tesla for my company. Leave $10,000 in that bank account. They're going to directly recognize what's in that bank account, $10,000, because you took out 90. They're going to pay you 5%, which is $500 of interest. Now, flip it on the other side. I put my 100,000 inside cash value, and I get non-direct recognition. So I walk into that insurance company and I say, I need $90,000 to go buy a Tesla for my company. Leave $10,000 in the account. Non-direct pays you on what you would have had, even if you spent it. So I earn 5% on 100,000, even though I took out 90, left 10,000 in that account. I'm earning $5,000 a year of interest on my cash. You're earning $500 a year of interest on your cash. And that accumulates, compounding, tax-deferred, tax-free, and that's how I utilize it. Now, if I can make 5-6% a year tax-free on my cash value, which is what it pays, I don't ever take that out unless I can get 10% or more on that money. So if I can't earn a minimum of 10%, I'll just leave it in the cash value, because in my tax bracket, if you're in a 30% tax bracket or even a 40% tax bracket, I got to go out and make 10% just to pay the taxes to net 6-7%. So why take the risk? So I just go out and make sure I get at least 10%, 12%, 15%. And what can I do to get that? I could lend money out, whether a loan, a mortgage. I can buy a rental piece of property. I can invest in a company. I can start a company. Those are the type of assets that make over 10%. It's hard to do it in a stock market, because the stock market obviously goes up and down, and people get nervous, or people's emotions get involved, and they sell when they shouldn't, and they lose money that way. And so I always try to do it where I can have something what's backed by a business, a piece of real estate, whatever that may be, and then that's how I leverage that. Now, if I do leverage it, and let's just talk about, again, you went to the bank, took out 90,000, left 10 grand. If I die the next day in that bank account, they leave $10,000. But if I die the next day in my cash value account, I leave $1 million tax-free to pay debts, to pay a business partner. If I have a business partner, which I do, that money will go pay off the wife, and I get his 50% of the share. Otherwise, if I don't have a plan in place or a business succession plan, and my business partner dies and he owes 50% of that company, guess what happens? And most business partners don't understand this, is she comes to my door every Friday morning asking for a paycheck because she gets 50% of this business. And what the life insurance does is it gives me that death benefit to turn around and give her the $1 million to satisfy his 50%, and I inherit the business at 100%, and I'm not in business with the spouse anymore. But too many times, business people don't carry permanent life insurance, don't carry term insurance, don't have a succession plan, don't have a key man employee plan, don't have anything to do with any business owners. They end up dying, or one of them dies in a plane crash or whatever. That spouse is entitled to that percentage of the company, and you're going to pay that spouse for the rest of the life of that company, or you're going to have to settle something out of court or some kind of a settlement, a statement, give an asset, whatever, because she's entitled to that 50% or 25% of that business. So it does a lot more than just cash, but it's a perfect vehicle to store cash. And life insurance industry is the safest industry on the planet. So, for example, in the Great Depression, over 9,000 banks went bankrupt. And people don't realize that when they did that, they called everybody's mortgage. So if you had a $100,000 mortgage, and during the Great Depression, they called it. You have to pay the $100,000, you lose your home. And that's how everybody lost so many homes. Now, they don't do that anymore because they stopped that. But then all the banks went under, 9,000 banks. You know how many went under in the life insurance industry? None. 2% of their assets inside life insurance company were affected during the Great Depression. Not one went under. And so it's the safest vehicle to store this cash. You keep it liquid. You earn 5-6% more. And then when we come back from this next break, I'm going to go through some of these banks, Bank of America, Citibank, Wells Fargo, and I'm going to show you guys how much they put in cash value compared to their real estate portfolio. So we got to take a break. We'll come back here. And thanks for listening here. Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Did you know that we buy houses cash? We can close quickly for a all-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleaning, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast.
Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Rimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. Rimes at kw.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, the official Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our friend Doug Clark. If you're facing an insurance claim, don't just trust the insurance company to have your best interests at heart. This is Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to rightwaypa.com, our friend Derek Coble at rightwaypa.com. Looking to level up your sales game? With 20 plus years of coaching experience spanning across several industries, Lindsay Rimes helps everyone from entry-level reps to seasoned business owners boost sales, improve work-life balance, and retain top talent with customized options catered to personal, group, or corporate settings. Brandon and Lindsay Rimes offer training on negotiation strategy, business development, and more. Let's grow your business together. Call 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Submit an email at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, and Mark Haye back again here, subbing in for Brandon Rimes. He's out selling $1 million listings all over Tampa Bay, so I get to fill in and get the honor of hosting. A couple more listings that he wanted us to kind of go through. This one's in Lakeland. This is another 55-plus community, and this is a really nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-car garage with a pool. Again, 55-plus community. Gorgeous house, a lot of square feet for 2,000 square feet. It looks very big, a very open floor plan. If you're like me, I love open floor plans. But very beautiful. It's on the water up in Lakeland there, Lakeland and Midland of the state. And excellent home there. And then we have another one here in Indian Rocks Beach. This is a golf cart friendly community. And this is a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath with a carport. And again, it's golf cart friendly. It's next to public boat ramps. It's got tennis and pickleball courts. And I know a lot of people are doing a lot of pickleball now, and so they have that there and local restaurants, etc. So another good opportunity if you're looking to buy or invest here in Indian Rocks Beach. Certainly reach out to Brandon or the show, and it'll certainly help you. So, and I wanted to wrap up my little segment here, kind of what we were talking about, the cash value versus banks and 401ks, and then we're going to move on to Captain Will Smith. He's got some interesting things happening with his business and nonprofit. But here I am talking about cash value. We just kind of ended with that segment with how safe the industry is compared to banks. And then who is investing in cash value? Like who's putting it in? So banks put over 50% of their reserves inside cash value. And so banks have to have reserves to meet government regulations. What do they do with it? They put over 50% inside cash value. So let me give you an idea. Bank of America, everybody knows kind of Bank of America. They have over $15 billion of real estate. That includes Manhattan and all the big sky rises and all these downtowns across the country. They have over $22 billion with a B of cash value, $7 billion more in cash value than they do in real estate. Citibank has over $5.5 billion of cash value. JP Morgan and Chase, a lot of people go to Chase, over $12 billion. Wells Fargo, $25 billion inside of cash value. 68% of all the banks, the biggest asset they own is cash value. The biggest asset they own is cash value. And again, all they're doing is doing what I'm telling people to do, is store your cash inside cash value, make 5-6% a year, tax-free, keep it liquid, and the banks go and then open up a checking account, give you 0.25%, lend you money. All they're doing is putting cash inside cash value, taking 5%, giving you 0.5%, and they're walking away with 4.5%. So just cut the bank out, and then you could do it. Who else has done it? Franklin Roosevelt, the Roosevelt family. When he passed away, he had $576,000 of cash value, not death benefit, cash value. And in today's money, that's over $10 million in cash value. President Kennedy, McDonald's, John McCain, a ton of Wall Street people, Wall Street executives, Fortune 100 companies, brokers. A lot of the brokers don't even put money into their funds that they're promoting. They put money in cash value. Jack Welch, he was the big GE CEO. He was getting a pension for a long time from GE. All it was cash value, and they turned around and sent him money every month from that cash. And when he died, the death benefit replaced the money that they gave him as a pension. Coach Harbaugh, anybody know Coach Harbaugh from the University of Michigan, who's now in the NFL? When he was at Michigan, he had one of the largest contracts in college football. But $2 million a year of his income went inside a Northwestern policy, a 5-pay. They got $10 million in there in 5 years. At $10 million at 5%, let's just say it makes 5%, is what? $500,000 a year of interest, tax-free, that he doesn't have to worry about market fluctuation, losing the money. You don't lose money. Much like supposedly a bank account, you don't lose money, but you don't make any money either. And so it's just an opportunity for people to start thinking and say, you know what am I going to do with this cash? Whether you're a business owner, whether you're a family, and you start storing cash inside of cash value, you're going to get a ton of benefits: permanent death benefit, long-term care, disability, injury. You're going to get non-direct recognition on the interest. You're going to have it liquid. And all you have to do is continue to put money into it, and then you can leverage it into opportunities and expand and grow your portfolio so you can have income today, not 30, 40 years from now, when hopefully it works out and you're 65, 70 years old. And we already know it doesn't because we did the study. It's less than 5% chance of it happening. So why not put it all back in your favor? Use the banks, use the government, use Fidelity, use the Wall Street, and you start taking advantage of and controlling your assets, and then you can build your retirement today. And my retirement is 3 to 5 years, not 30 years. I want to have passive income, and I want to have money liquid so that I can have the decision to what I want to do 3 to 5 years from now. So it's important to have an advisor that you can reach out to, and certainly can reach out to me. Different philosophy, but certainly happy to work with anybody. But 727-804-7220 is my cell phone. You can call or text anytime. I appreciate the time. We're going to take one more break. We're going to come back with Captain Will Smith here on Consumer Quarterback. I'm Mark Haye, filling in for Brandon Rimes.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
Hey, and Mark Haye again here, filling in for Brandon Rimes as he goes out and sells his $1 million properties across Tampa Bay. And we're going to do a couple more properties, get here to Captain Will Smith. And this one's in Bellevue. It's 10431 Southeast, 127th Lane, Bellevue, Florida. There's no HOA on this one. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, roughly 1,700 square feet. It's a mobile home. And if you were with us a couple of weeks ago, a mobile home with a new bonus appreciation, we could take the whole amount off on your taxes if you do want to make this into a rental property. So, for example, if it's going for $100,000 and you bought it for a rental property, you could take $100,000 off of your income, thanks to Trump's new big beautiful bill. But this is an excellent home, both for a primary or a rental, and again, 3-bedroom, 2-bath there in Bellevue. And then we have one more here we're going to talk about. Is a 3-bedroom, 3.5-bath in Brandon, 2547 Lexington Oaks Drive, Brandon, Florida. This is a townhouse. The price has been reduced. And again, it's 3-bedroom, 3.5-bath, 1-car garage, just under 2,000 square feet, gated community. HOA covers a lot: water, sewer, trash, lawn care, exterior, roof upkeep, pool, maintenance. It's a beautiful property and a lot of amenities here in Brandon, Florida, 3-bedroom, 3.5-bath. So we're getting back here with Captain Will Smith, and I just wanted to do a quick feel-good story. It's kind of going to lead right into Captain Will Smith, who's doing a lot here with his business here in Tampa Bay. But I wanted to use a feel-good story just to congratulate and honor our military. 4th of July here coming up with the Independence Day. And I thought what we did with Iran, and not to get political, but I think what we did with Iran and the coordination of the Navy ships circulating in there, and firing off their rockets or missiles from the ship. And let's say they did that at 5 p.m., and then we had our planes coming over there from America, which they took 2 or 36 hours, which is just insane. And as they got there to Iran and got to where they were going to have their target, they fired off their missiles. And at the exact same time, both from the Navy ship and from our airplanes, they hit Iran's nuclear plants and obliterated them, and then they took off back home. They refilled in the air, and they landed safely in America. And I just think it's just such an amazing thing that we did for the country, for the world. And I just am so impressed by our military and these guys that can operate this machinery and coordinate like that. So God bless America. I think it's an excellent reminder of how powerful and how much we have and how much we can do for this world, and hopefully it will stop and end everything that's happening over there. But what do you think here, Captain Will Smith?
36 hours is a long time to sit in an airplane, brother.
Long time. And those cockpits are not luxury cockpits.
No, they're not.
It's like a race car.
Imagine sitting in that chair right there for 36 hours.
No way.
Not getting up to use the bathroom, none of that stuff.
Can't do nothing.
But those B-52 bombers, they're big enough inside to where they have microwaves and they can move around a little bit. So I'm sure they're switching out pilots, because that's a long time in one position. In the refueling aspect of it, it's kind of like a round robin. They flew out there, never touched down, came right back.
Insane.
And had all the planes to refuel them to get them back home.
What technology. And like I said, these are kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of them are 22 or 25 flying them. Now, Don't get me wrong, I don't know the age or who they were, but a lot of them are so young, and just to be able to do all this and coordinate it, I mean, God bless America.
Yeah.
It's so impressive.
Well, we have the best, of everything as far as that's concerned with aircraft, whether it's the Air Force, the Marines. We have the best of the best.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the bomber, it flew at an altitude, I think it was around 51 or 52,000 feet. And it can't be seen on radar. So they literally had no idea what was happening.
And that's impressive, because those bombers are huge.
Yes,
to get up 50,000. Because commercials, 30,000 maybe?
Most of the commercial airlines are around 37,000 feet because of the weight.
Yep.
But this, the bomber, those wings are designed to be able to lift that amount of weight and get that high. But you have to be flying extremely fast to do that.
Yeah. Now, what were the other ones? The B-52s, right?
It was a B-2 bomber and B-52.
Yeah.
So there was two of them.
Those stealth planes too are
the stealth
bad.
plane is just a flying wing.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's awesome though. I just love seeing. I love the videos of them coming home and watching it, and so I just think it's just an unbelievable that we get to be in America, and God bless them, and thank God that we were born here and we get to stay here.
Exactly.
And I just I think that our president is doing everything he can to not go to war.
Oh yeah.
And
he doesn't want
again
he
not getting
respects
political
life,
but I do think from what I can see, he doesn't want to be in war.
No, he doesn't.
And, politicians in the past, whether you're Republican, Democrat, war is a big moneymaker.
It is.
For politicians.
And that's why they go,
And that's why they do it. And Trump doesn't make any money off of war. He probably loses money in his business with wars.
Yep.
And so I just feel like if we have a person in command that doesn't want war, and I think what he executed was amazing, and I just think it just needs to be, congratulated.
Well, he shows power through strength. You have to be forceful. I mean, you have to. It's time to everybody to put their big boy britches on.
Absolutely,
and it's time to get the kids out of the playground.
Absolutely, but I'm thankful that he's there, and like I said,
they don't know what the f they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. I love that too. And he just walked away. You know what I mean? So, Will, tell me what's going on with you. I know that you got nonprofit, you got a business. What is it that you want to talk about today? Tell us.
So I've got well, everybody knows I own Will Smith Aviation, and we do a lot. We've expanded with the foundation after our gala. It really opened up a lot of opportunity for us. And we had Brian Stern there as our keynote speaker. He's with Gray Bull Rescue, and we did some missions together with him. We flew down to one mission was flying down to the Turks and Caicos, rescuing 2 girls from Haiti, and the second mission we just did recently before he went over to Tel Aviv. We actually flew into Haiti. Which was kind of scary because the people down there are just the gangs have taken over. The government has collapsed completely. But we were able to fly into an airport north of Haiti. It was Cap Haye, and we were able to get in and out of there, pick up 3 more orphans, and bring them home to their parents that they're adopting.
Let me stop you there and back you up for just a minute. Your business is based here in Tampa,
that's
right?
Correct.
The Tampa airport. Yep. And then you're also running a nonprofit.
Correct.
And that nonprofit goes and rescues.
Well, the nonprofit Gray Bull Rescue, we teamed up with them. So Will's Way Foundation teamed up with Gray Bull Rescue, and then we brought in Will Smith Aviation, our charter company, and donated the aircraft to be able to go down there and bring these girls home.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did it twice, once with our bigger jet, our Citation 7, and then once with our VLJ, which is our Citation Mustang.
Are you flying?
Oh, I'm flying, yeah.
No way.
Yep.
What's your experience? Tell me your experience. Flight.
I've been flying since I started back in the 1900s, 1998, and I went to Aviation Academy in Orlando, graduated from there, got into the airlines, flew with the airlines for a couple of years. 9/11 happened. Even wrote I wrote a book about it called Falling from the Sky. Got back into aviation after that, and then I was managing assets, people's aircraft, and then I had the opportunity to purchase a charter company.
Wow.
So I purchased that, and I'm utilizing through the foundation, through the charter. When people use us directly, a lot of people don't know when they charter an airplane, they go through a broker. Well, that broker's putting 10 or 20% on top of what I'm charging. So if you deal directly with the operator, which is us, you're going to save 10 or 20% on that trip right off the bat.
And you're doing like rental.
Yep. You're just charting out airplanes like you would a boat or a rental on a house. It's yours for that time period to get you from point A to point B. Well, by encompassing everything and putting everything together and working with other foundations in the community like Gray Bull and Brian Stern, we're allowed to help not only the community but outside of our community. And saving the orphans out of Haiti was one of the things that we paired up with Brian with, and our gala was to raise money to help people in Tampa that still needed help with hurricane damage. So I was able to give $13,000 to the Hispanic Latino community.
Wow.
And then we went down to Sarasota and put all new furniture in the Taylor family because their kids were sleeping on the floor. And their mom and dad was sleeping on the floor. And I was like, we're not going to have that. So their insurance only paid so much. FEMA failed. So we went in and bought all new furniture for them so the kids and the family have a place to sleep and live.
Wow.
But this is just stuff we're doing in our community. So, whenever you're working with Will Smith Aviation, our charter company, it's not just a private charter. You're helping your community. You're helping people outside of your community. Me collaborating with Brian Stern and other non-for-profits in the community. We're doing a lot. Because it's time to start giving and start helping. And we can't do any of this unless people have donations come in, because it takes money. It costs me money when I'm donating my time, the fuel, the jet. That costs money to operate, but I donate that.
Well, how do people, if they want to donate to this?
They can go to Gray Bull Rescue and donate, or they can also go to wwf.tampabay.org and they can donate there.
Great Bull Rescue?
Yeah, Gray Bull Rescue.
And that's the one that you go in and rescuing orphans, and
right.
How do you find out who needs what or where or who needs help?
Brian and his team sets everything up. They just went over, and I want to say it was 350, 400 people are Americans and Israelis and people from USF. They went over and saved in Tel Aviv and brought them home. So Brian and his team is coming home tomorrow. They finished their mission.
How many people?
I want to say it was 400 people. They had
just bringing back 400 people.
Yeah, they did. They're already home now. The team's coming home.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, so
where do they touch down? Where do they?
I know they went into Cyprus, which is a little island north of Israel, and they boated people across to get into that airport because flying into Tel Aviv and you got missiles flying, it's not,
so they're flying into war zones.
Yes.
And they're possibly going into combat.
Right.
Are these military men?
Yes, retired military. Yep.
Holy moly. Are you military?
I am not.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not either, but God bless him.
Yeah,
I appreciate everybody that does it.
I support the heck out of it.
100%. Well, that's fascinating. So then they find out who needs help, Americans and orphans.
His whole slogan is, we work at the speed of need. So he does not hesitate. He sees there's something that's American needs to be evacuated, an orphan needs to be saved. He acts then. So it's less than 24 hours. And he called me and asked me if I could. Now, that was a project too big for me.
Yeah.
But he, got we got to thank our governor Ron DeSantis because he helped fund this as well.
Really?
So
what do you mean? He put grant money or?
Yeah, to help to pay to get the Americans home. Brian goes out there, puts them all together. He's a mission expert. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get around down in the foreign countries. He knows people abroad, and they help him.
What kind of planes are you flying over there?
They were taking regular commercial planes, bringing everyone home. So it was, they got them over there, they got them out, and after they got everyone that they had, people were calling saying, "Hey, I'm stuck here. Where do I go? What do I do?" So they had a mustering point where everyone gathered, and then went out and they brought them home.
So then I'm looking at your website right now, Great Bull Rescue.
This is Brian's website.
Brian's website, Great Bull Rescue. Yep. You've rescued 7,100 plus out of 39 different countries, right? And then you have thousands classified government, privately funded operations, 900 plus years of collective special operation and intelligence experience. This is unbelievable. And then you're donating planes and stuff to this too?
Yes.
For the missions?
Yes.
Wow.
So they can save the orphans in Haiti.
Holy moly, that's amazing. I know a lot of people that don't know about this that would love to be donating or helping.
We need people, donations. Donations make this happen. So the more that we get, the more lives we can save.
Yeah, and then we talk about a lot of times on this show, we talk about tax code, charities. This would count. You donate to this.
Yep.
This is 100% deductible on your tax returns.
Yep.
And so if you're looking to get rid of the IRS and not pay them, maybe we could look at doing this.
I tell everybody, even my wife, I was like, I would rather give money to a foundation that's transparent, like mine and Great Bull Rescue, because you know exactly where your money's going and you know exactly it's saving lives, versus give it to IRS, but so they can blow it on whatever.
Yeah, I know, and it's just
so the government can go buy exactly.
Right. Don't get started. But yeah, if you're a business owner, a person, individual, this counts, and you can donate to this, get 100% deduction on your taxes, take it off your income. And you're helping some serious people. What if there's people out there that have family members that need to be rescued? They can reach out to Great Bull.
Reach out to
and
Great
say, "Hey,
Bull.
I got a sister over there, a brother. They're stuck."
Yep, that's correct.
And you guys will go almost anywhere.
Yep, they'll go anywhere and take care of them, and and bring them home. That's what he does.
That's amazing.
They've gotten over 6,100 applicants through Facebook.
Yeah.
No way. So you guys are so busy. You need more pilots and more planes.
Yeah. Well, it's the more we can do. It will never come to an end.
Yeah.
Because people are always stuck. You got children, and the whole Haiti thing was just tear jerking.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of these gangs went in and they shot the parents, kidnapped the children, and sold them into sex slavery. And it's just, I can't imagine. I can't wrap my brain around that. And the orphanages down there are, trying to get the kids, get them off the street so the gangs don't sell them into sex slavery. And we just go down and grab them and bring them home.
Wow.
And they have parents here in the States that are adopting them.
So you have a foster program,
Yes.
then you bring them back,
Yep.
and then here they're not just on the streets here.
Right.
Here
exactly.
you're going to go to the foster program.
They have a foster program, and we got visas for them. But the gangs are taking and trying to burn up the visas, the passports, so they can't leave the country. So it's hard for them to fly out commercially. So we have to go down there privately, Brian flies over in a helicopter, scoops them up in a hot LZ, brings them to the airport. We get them on the airplane and bring them back to the States.
Kidding me? This is unbelievable.
Yeah,
we got to take a break here, Will, but I want to come back and continue this, please. But I got Captain Will Smith here, and we're talking about his foundation, his company here. Fascinating stuff. I'm Mark Haye, filling in for Brandon Rimes on the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rimes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Blue Moon Estate Sales of Pinellas County for all of your estate sale needs. BlueMoonEstateSales.com. Reach out to Jennifer. Tell her you heard about her here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. BlueMoonEstateSales.com. And stop by their store, the Blue Moon Store, at 1479 South Belcher in Largo. 1479 South Belcher in Largo. And that's BlueMoonEstateSales.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Coble, owner of Coble Law. Coble Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Coble, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal injury law, and work comp law. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Mark Haye, back again, just subbing in for Brandon Rimes as he's out there doing the good deeds here in Tampa Bay. And we got another property here we're going to talk about before we get back to Captain Will Smith here. This is in Groveland. This is about 20, 30 minutes outside of Orlando. And this is 42 acres of land. It does have a home on it, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And it looks like it's a home that's been nicely redone. And like I said, 42 acres of land, residential, 2 bedrooms, 2-bath. It's got a garage. It's got a workshop, a workspace, a lot of potential here. If anybody just wants to get away from, I guess, the city, but an unbelievable piece of real estate here in Groveland. And contact Brandon in the Consumer Quarterback Show if anybody's interested in that. And getting back to Captain Will Smith, I know we were talking about the Great Bull Rescue. I know you got your foundation. If you want to kind of go ahead and tell us a little about that, too.
Yep, I have Will's Way Foundation. I started that because I was helping children that, as an instructor, that didn't have the means or the finances to become pilots. So I started Will's Way Foundation. But as that grew, we offer scholarships for children who want to get into the aviation industry, whether it's a pilot, mechanic. The industry is so broad. But when the hurricanes came through last year, we saw another need for children, and that need was they didn't have a place to live, or the places that they would go for after-school care were destroyed. So we had a gala this past February, and we were able to raise enough money to give $13,000 to the Latino community. Which helped them with the after-school care facility that was up in Hernando County, got washed away. And they were also able to help a family down in Sarasota, the Taylor family. Their mom and dad were sleeping on the floor. The kids were sleeping on the floor. As you well know, the insurance only paid half, so they couldn't get everything completed. And then FEMA, that was just the biggest, con job in the world, and they didn't help out at all. So I wasn't going to watch a family have to sleep on the floor because they got screwed over by the insurance company and FEMA. So we went down there and furnished their entire house.
Wow.
Bedroom sets for each child, bedroom set for the parents, all new living room furniture, dining room table, the whole 9 yards.
How are you raising money?
I raise money through the gala, and then people going online to www.tampabay.org. And they can donate there, and we raise money through the website. And whenever we have events, that's the biggest fundraisers when we have events. But we're always needing monies to come in order for us to give it back to the community. And we're very transparent with that. That's why I have the news media cover it. So they say, hey, this money that you gave went to this family, and there's no question about it.
Wow.
So it's some people, I've seen some foundations, they raise all this money and then you never hear about it. I'm like, well, where did the money go?
Yeah, 90% goes back in their pocket. 10% goes where it's supposed to.
So we have no employees. We have no salaries. Everybody donates their time to the foundation.
Wow. And
we raise money. And what we do have after any expenses of any type of gala or something that we throw, the rest of that money goes back to the community.
Wow, that's awesome. Let me ask you a question. An airline mechanic, what's the schooling like if a kid wants to be an airline mechanic?
Well, he starts out as kind of like an apprenticeship, and then they learn, and then they get signed off, and then they'll take a test, and that can be a couple of years, but you start on small light combing engines or continental engines, and you work your way from that into specialized like jets or turboprops.
So it's considered like a trade school, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this debate about is college a scam, and I do think going to trade school does a lot more.
Yes.
Yeah, 18 years old, be a plumber, be a contractor,
and we need they don't teach that in college. I don't know what they're teaching in college anymore, but it's not worth the money they're charging.
Well, how much can an airline mechanic make?
Well, they can make $250,000-$300,000 a year, depending on what their specialty is.
So you're 18 years old, graduate from high school. You could say, okay, I'm going to go to college, a liberal university maybe, and I'm going to get indoctrinated for $150,000 in debt for 4 or 5 years, graduate with an arts liberals degree that does nothing, and 50% of the time you're not going to use your degree.
Right.
Or you can go be an airline mechanic, spend a year or two apprenticing, being in school, come out of it, make 6 figures, work your way up, make $250,000, $300,000, have no debt, and all of a sudden now you're way far ahead.
Yep.
And then why go to the university, do something like that? What an opportunity.
Yeah,
you know, and no one knows where to start. And so the good start is contact you.
Yeah, contact us, and we'll put you in the right direction. Some people want to be aviation attorneys. Some people want to be fixed base operation managers, airport managers. It's such a broad ATC controllers. The industry is so broad. You can do just about anything in it. There's private catering if you just wanted to do that. I mean, we got Primo, which is a private caterer, just caters to airlines.
Wow.
So it's just it's wide open to do whatever you want to do within the industry. It's not just being a pilot. I mean, there's so many other. There's medvacs, medical vacs. They've got nurses, and they're just on helicopters.
And your foundation does all this. It helps lead them to where they got to go.
Yes, we give them the guidance. We give them the guidance. If they get approved for a scholarship, we help them with the scholarship, and so that gets their foot in the door and gets them moving in the right direction, so they have an opportunity. Because there's a lot of children out there that are very, very smart. They have a great skill set, but they just don't have the money.
Wow.
And so their dreams should not have to be crushed because of resources they lack.
Or they're just ignorance. You don't know where to go.
Right.
How do I do this? But I do think what an excellent opportunity to go to a cool trade school, and do this at 18 instead of going to a 5-year university.
Yeah, exactly. You actually do something, you complete something, you have the sense of, hey, I accomplished something.
Yeah.
And you take that with you, and then you teach. That's what I've been in the industry for 28 years, and now I teach the younger generation how to be successful.
Will, I really appreciate it. I wish we had more time. Is there any way to contact you?
Yep, go on our website, willsmithaviation.com. Please go on to www.tampabay.org and give as much as you can so we can continue to help rescue orphans, and we can continue to help save people in the community that have been devastated by the hurricanes, or they just need a scholarship to get
awesome. And Great Bowl Rescue. Great Bowl Rescue. That's saving people.
Yep.
So anyways, thank you so much. Well, I wish I had more time.
See you,
I'm Mark Haye. Brandon Rimes is out today, so I'm filling in at Consumer Quarterback.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.